Okay, number 9. All you had to do here was to find a least common denominator. The least common denominator is 10, which is perfect. And now I ask you about your restrictions. When do we have restrictions? When do we have restrictions? You have restrictions when there is a variable in the denominator. This is what we use that for. Okay. Since there's no letter in the denominator, I take my LCD and I set it not equal to 0. Well, here's a little kicker for you. Can 10 ever equal 0? No. So that's a true statement, correct? So therefore, what this means is there are no restrictions. There are no restrictions. Do we get that? Which means I'm going to come right over here and I'm going to multiply this lovely little thing by the value 10. And what is 10 divided by 5? 2. Bring down the y. What is 10 divided by 2? 5. Bring down the y. What is 10 times 7? 70. Now, solve this thing. What is 2y and 5y? 7 yo-yos is equal to 70 divided by 7. And y is equal to 10. Since there are no restrictions, it's simply y equals 10. Did we get that? Yay, nay?
Yay.
Any other questions over 9 through 29? Quickly? 15. Ooh, I'm so glad you asked for 15. It makes my heart unbelievably skip a beat.
I did it.
So I have 5x over 4 minus 3 over x is equal to 1/4. Yes? Step 1, change subtraction to addition. Bam. Step 2, find your least common denominator or factor completely. Are they all factored already, the denominators? Yes. So now I need an LCD.
X
Is 4x. So now I need to find my restrictions.
But the X isn't in all of them.
Ooh, but just because it's not in all of them, they're attached by addition. And whenever you add two fractions, you have to get a common denominator. You can't just like ignore one of them and say, hey, I don't like you. So okay? So now with that said, I'm going to take my lovely little LCD, which is 4x, and that cannot equal 0, correct? So now what? Divide by 4. So now my restriction is x cannot be 0. What does this mean? What can x be? Anything but 0, because if it is 0, when I plug and chug it into the denominator, it gives me a value of 0, and can we divide by 0?
No.
No. So now I'm going to take my lovely little fraction here, and I'm going to multiply it by 4x. Why am I multiplying it by 4x? Because that's your least common denominator. Excelente.
I like purple.
Do you like that purple?
Purple's my favorite color.
Well, I'm happy. 4x divided by 4 is x. Bring down the jump. 4x divided by x is 4. Bring down the other jump, which is the -3. 4x divided by 4 is x, and bring down the 1. Does every single person in here understand how and why I have what I have up there? We good? Now, moving right swiftly along, what do? Rid of the parentheses, right? So this gives you 5x squared minus 12 is equal to x. And doesn't it look like something we would normally do something with?
Yeah.
I can't quite factor it yet because I need to set it equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides, and I'm going to have 5x squared minus x minus 12 equals 0. Are we all good?
Yeah.
Everyone knows what I did and why.
Yeah. Why did you subtract X?
Because I wanted to make it equal to 0.
Oh. I couldn't find the numbers and I just found them in my head.
You didn't yet. Okay. Oh, you didn't.
I didn't?
I need to go ahead and factor this. So I need to put this into two binomials. I have to use 5x and x because I have no other choices, do I? Factors of 5 are just 5 and 1. Factors of 12 are 1 and 12, 3 and 4, and 2 and 6, correct? 1 and 12, 3 and 4, and 2 and 6.
Alright, nothing.
Stop.
Turn around, Yoder. Turn around.
Oof.
I don't see it.
Aw.
I don't see it. Stop, Yoder. It was cute.
Okay, now what do? I need to choose factors of 12. What factors of 12 am I going to use?
3 and 3.
4, 3. I need the signs to be opposite. Inner gives me 4x, outer gives me negative 15x. Is that ever going to give me negative 1? What if I swap the 4 and the 3?
Yeah.
No, that's not going to work.
You change the sign.
What if I use 2 and 6? No, it's still not going to work. It's not factorable, which means you have to use x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So
I hate whenever they come back in the problem. I hate it.
I hate it too.
I hate math.
Punching me, run.
Yeah, because that's the test that's out there and stares in space.
X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So now, with that lovely little thing said, what is A? It's 5. B is negative 1. C is negative 12.
Hold on. I'm still on 2A.
Yeah, I stop. Go on.
No, thank you.
No, Yoder. No. No.
Okay, I'm good now.
No.
Jason, nobody cares. Okay, let's
Yoder's
go now.
going, I'm telling you.
That's okay. Go ahead. Oh, Taylor.
B is negative 1. So I have a negative times a negative. Plus or minus negative 1 squared. Oh, 8. Oh, yes, I'm right. Wait. Minus 4 times 5 times negative 12. All over. Girls, be quiet. 2 times 5.
Wait, is that negative 1?
Uh-huh. Because what is a negative times a negative? A positive. 1, a negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 times 12 is 240 over 10.
Stop. Emergency break.
Stop.
Is this when you're recording?
Sure.
They even heard us by
No,
maybe.
probably not. Okay, now what is 1 plus 240? 241. All over 10. Now, check it. Are we paying attention?
Yes.
So if I come over here and I type in 1 plus the square root of 241 parentheses divided by 10 and hit enter, I get 1.65. If you look at the back of the textbook like you should have after you completed every problem, then what you would have realized is 1.65 is the answer that you should have gotten if you would have taken the time to check your answers. I'm looking at you. Arrow up, grab this and hit enter. And we need to now change the plus sign to a minus and hit enter again. And you would get another answer being negative 1.45. Do we understand where the back of the book, now that you did not check, came up with those answers?
Yes. So how was we supposed to know that? They don't have a smart calculator.
X equals negative b plus the minus square root
Not
of
ready.
minus
Do
4
it in my head.
all over 2a. Every calculator, even your red, a little OGT calculator, has a square root plus. Don't you sit there and tell me it doesn't. So, x is equal to 1.65 and x is equal to negative 1.45. Those are your two answers. Now, here's the question I have for you. Are those answers legal? How do I know?
No.
I need to go back up and check my restrictions. Here are my restrictions. It said that x could be any answer as long as it was not the value 0. Were those answers 0? So therefore, these are correct answers. Do we understand 15? Yep.
Can we call you Case Notes?
No.
This is Case Notes. I'm just gonna start calling you Case Notes anyway.
Now, do we have any other questions for 21 through 29? Going once.
Wait. Hey.
29, I heard. I heard 29. 2 over x minus 1 plus.
3 over x plus 1 equals 4.
Thank ya. Now what do I do?
Find your wall.
Do I have any subtraction? No. Should each denominator, do they need factoring? No, so now I'm looking for my LCD. So what is my LCD?
X minus 1 and x plus 1.
Very good. So now there is my LCD, and what should I immediately go to? Restrictions. So I have x plus 1 times x minus 1 cannot equal 0, correct?
Right, yeah.
So if I set each one of those not equal to 0, I have x cannot equal -1 and x cannot equal +1. What do those restrictions mean to
It
me?
can be anything but those two numbers.
X can be any answer whenever I solve it, except for the values, -1 and 1. And if I get -1 or 1, I have to do what with them? Cross them off and say it's not possible. Do we understand that?
B.
So now, I have my restrictions,
Keep it!
Really?
I have my least common denominator. What do I do?
Time it all by the automatons.
I'm going to multiply this entire thing by x plus 1 and x minus 1. So now, I distribute. When I multiply that in,
One and 2.
X minus 1.
the x minus 1's cancel out, I'm left with 2 times x plus 1. Anybody in here not understand that? We good? No? Okay. Do you see that the x minus 1 would be in the top and the bottom, so that's gone? What's left is the x plus 1 and the 2. You with me now? Great. Moving on to the next fraction. What cancels out in that one?
X minus 1. No.
The x plus 1 cancels out. I bring down the 3 and I'm left with the x minus 1. Go to the last one, across the equal sign. Does anything cancel out? No, so I have to have both of them, don't I? Okay, now what do you do, folks? Which means you distribute where you can and FOIL first where you can. So look at the very first parentheses, distribute or FOIL. So 2x plus 2. Second parenthesis, distribute or FOIL. Distribute. Third set of parentheses, FOIL first. So that's going to give you x squared minus x plus x minus 1. Uh-huh.
You go over the FOIL and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's my one.
I bring down the 4. X times x is x squared. Then I'm going to do this, Brittany, are you listening to me? Ignore that plus 1 there and distribute the x into both of them. Okay? Then cover up the x and then distribute the 1 into both of them. That's it. That's all FOIL is. It's distributing the first term into the second parenthesis and then distributing the second term into the second parenthesis. Okay? So x times x is x times x is x squared. X times -1 is negative x. 1 times x is x. And then 1 times -1 is -1. Does that make sense? Yes? We certain? Combine like terms. 2x and 3x is 5x minus 1 is equal to 4x squared, 4 times x squared minus 1. I still have parentheses, so what do? Distribute. 5x minus 1 is equal to 4x squared minus 4. Now, I need to make this thing equal to 0. So how do I go about doing this? I'm going to subtract 5x and add 1. So the left-hand side is equal to 0, and the right-hand side is going to be 4x squared minus 5x minus 3. because I want it equal to 0. So I took everything over to the side with x squared over that. The x squared term is on the right-hand side, so that's why I brought everything from the left over to the right. Does that make sense? Now, can I factor this? I can't? Let's try, shall we? 2x and 2x, 1 and 3, plus and minus. Is that going to work? Nope, not this lifetime. Is it going to help for me to swap the 1 and the 3? Is it going to help for me to swap the 2 and the 2? So let's try it again. 4x and x, 1 and 3. Is that going to work? What if I swap the 1 and the 3? Is that going to work? So what can you conclude?
No factor.
I can't factor it, but I can. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I understand. A is 4, B is negative 5, and C is negative 3. So negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I'm going to have a negative times negative 5 plus or minus negative 5 squared minus 4 times negative 3. You don't have my denominator there, though.
You know what you remind me of when you taught math? Ferrari.
Wow. And 2 times 4 is the denominator. You crack me.
You know what reminds me of? Us people that try to sell stuff, like at the auctions.
Yeah.
That's right.
5 plus or minus 25. A negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 3 is 12 times 4 is 48. All over 8. 5, I should say 25 plus 48 is 73 over 8. Now, what do? I go back over to my calculator because the wonderful little thing, and it was, what was it, 5 plus square root of 73, parenthesis, divided by 8. Can I get 1.69? And then I arrow up, and I hit enter, and I backspace this, and I get a negative, and I hit enter, and I get negative 0.44. Do we understand how they got those answers now?
Yes. Wait, what are the answers?
1.69 and negative 0.44. Yay, yay?
Yes.
Okay, now, whoa! Now, you just totally ignored my restrictions. I don't know if those are doable
Yeah,
answers.
they are.
How do I know?
Because they're not negative.
Right. It's not a negative.
Because I go back up to my level little restrictions, and my restrictions say it cannot be 1 or negative 1, which means, are those legal?
Yeah.
Yes,
Is that a negative?
it is a negative. Okay, one more from 45 through 51.
11.
41, 43 through 51. What? 45, she said. I think Ruby Tuesday was the only one who did all the work.
Actually,
I did all the mine, honestly.
1 over b plus 1 plus 1 over b minus 1 is equal to 2 over b squared minus 1. Step 1, do I have any subtraction? No. Step 2, can I factor b plus 1?
No.
How about can I factor b minus 1?
Squared.
But can I factor b squared minus 1? I can. So 1 over b plus 1 plus 1 over b minus 1 is equal to 2 over b plus 1 times b minus 1. LCD! Yell it out. I wasn't exactly yelling it out, but I'm pretty sorry. My restriction. B plus 1 times B minus 1 cannot equal 0, so B plus 1 cannot equal 0, and B minus 1 cannot equal 0, so B cannot equal negative 1, and B cannot equal positive 1.
Yari. Yari. I love you, you know I like you.
Do we understand where negative 1 and 1 came from? Okay, now what? Talk to me. What did you got to?
Time for all God to leave from the denominator.
Okay, what do I do? And what am I left with? 1 times B minus 1 plus the second one.
B plus 1.
1 times B plus 1. And lastly, is equal to 2. Do I need those parentheses? No, I do not. So B minus 1 plus B plus 1 is equal to 2. 1B plus 1B is
2B.
no?
B squared.
Are you mad at me?
So much fun.
Aw, did you make a big old out of a little molehill?
It was fine.
I'm really sorry.
No, she's not. She's a Ferrari.
2B is equal to 2. B is equal to 1.
I'm just throwing this out here. You should get it on your license plate. In case not.
I would be like,
Why can it not equal 1? There's a restriction. It says, it's not allowed. So since it's it's not allowed, what is my answer?
no. All
All together one more time.
No solution.
No solution! I love it. We get it?
Wait. Yeah, that's what I want.
Ooh, 1 banana plus 1 banana is 2 bananas.
But what's the negative banana?
Oh no, the 1's the negative. 1 banana plus 1 banana is 2 bananas. Negative 1 cent and 1 cent cancels each other out.
Can you please give Marissa credit?
I said that, and then you said no, and I thought you said it to me, but you were saying
You go, girl.
Good job, Kate. Or that's fruity.
Do we understand this?
Yeah.
Okay, now, did I pass out tonight's worksheet yet? Well, ain't that wonderful? All right, are we paying attention with the worksheet for tonight? Are we listening? Because this is important information. The front page is section 8-5. 8-5 is whenever we change the subtraction addition, got a common denominator, let them eyeball each other up and say they fell in love, and then they went to the courthouse and they got married, then they bought a house and they unpacked their boxes. Remember that? Remember that? We got a common denominator. What we did at the bottom, we had to do the top. So what you're doing on the front page is simplifying and making something that was nasty and ugly something smaller and not as ugly. Correct?
Yeah.
Turn it over.
So we're doing just like that.
Turn it over. On the back is section 8-6. There's not enough room to do it on here. I repeat, there's not enough room to do it on here.
That's what we did last night, right?
This is what we did last night. Why do you know that this is what we did last night? What's in it that looks
Restrictions.
Restrictions and the debt giveaway.
It's a restriction.
There's an equal sign. The front has no equal sign. Simplification. The back has equal signs. So you have to multiply by your LCD to eliminate the fraction and eliminate the parentheses by distributive FOILing. Yay, nay?
Yay.
Yes? I am, yes. I want to tell you the type of answers that you're going to have on 8-6, which is the back. So on the back, are we listening? Problems 9 through 18. The types of solutions that you will have. X is equal to a number. One number. You can have X is equal to 2 numbers. right? You can have no solution. And that's when the answer that you got was in the restrictions and you have to cross it out. You with me? And then the final type is going to be x is any real number. What does that mean? This means you get a true statement, meaning 10 equals 10, x equals x, 5 is equal to 5. Those are all true statements, which means can you argue with that fact that 10 equals 10? So since you can't argue with the fact that it's true, that means that it doesn't matter what x is, that x is any real number. Do we all understand why I have that? Haley, I'm not repeating that because you're zoning into the field here. Do we all understand what I just said?
Yeah.
So for on the back, you can have 4 types of answers. Now, the front, let's go, shall we? Pick a problem 1 through 4. Brittany? 4. 2c over c squared minus d squared minus c plus d all over c squared minus 2c plus d squared. Well, what's that?
Is this the stuff where I
The
was like,
direction said, determine the LCD for each of the following. You do not have to simplify. All I'm asking is for you to come up with the LCD, right? So, how do I find an LCD?
Look at the least common denominator.
Before you can find the least common denominator, which
Not
is the
factor
LCD.
everything out.
Can I factor c squared minus d squared? Sure can. C plus d times c minus d. Correct? Minus c plus d over here. Can I factor c squared minus 2cd plus d squared? You bet your bottom dollar I can. C minus d times c minus d. Okay, now my least common denominator. Do I have a c plus d anywhere else in the other fraction? No. So I have to have c plus d there. Do I have a c minus d in the other fraction? I do. How many of them do I have in the first fraction?
1.
1. How many of them do I have in the second fraction? 2. So how many do I have to have my LCD? 2. You take the one with the higher exponent. Booyah!
You just write twice.
I
We're
wrote
just
twice.
finding out
I read it
the
for you.
Honey, that's why I read the directions aloud. If you quit ignoring my voice.
I was writing down a piece of paper too.
Do we understand problems 1 through 4 and what you need to do? Choose a problem 5 through
7.
So,
7?
so 1 through 4, we gotta just find LCD.
1 through 4. Only find the LCD right there in the directions that I've already stated twice. And obviously, don't listen to me either.
Obviously.
Now, I'm not doing number 7 with you because that is one that we have already done in class together once. I put it back on this worksheet to see if any of you could be triumphant with it a second time. So number 5. Two y over y minus 3 squared plus y over y minus 3 minus 5y minus 9 over y minus 3. Now, step 1. What do I do?
Factor.
No.
You see if there's any what's that called? Subtraction.
Change your subtraction to addition. So this turns into plus, that turns into a negative with parentheses around the 2 terms. Why did I have to put parentheses around the 2 terms?
Because it needed to be distributed.
Because I'm not just subtracting 1 term, but 2 terms, which is why it must be distributed. Good job. Now what do I do? Change my subtraction to addition?
You're going to factor. You're going to be
I need to factor each denominator. Can I factor y minus 3 squared?
No, we can't write it twice.
No, but I can write it down twice. Does that make you all happy if I did that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Y minus 3 times y minus 3. How about y minus 3 on the second one? Can I do anything with that?
No.
No. How about y minus 3 squared on the last one? I can write it down twice, but apparently you all like to see it. And now my question is, what is my LCD?
I minus 3 squared.
My LCD is y minus 3 squared, which is y minus 3 times y minus 3. Yay, nay? So now, all three fractions like each other. One's a mom and a little kiddo, and one's a little daddy. They all like each other, so we have to get them all married, right? So before we can move into one house, we have to have the same denominators. Yes? So now, what did I do to y minus 3 to get the new denominator y minus 3 y minus 3?
Nothing.
Nothing. Dropped down to 2y. What did I do to y minus 3 to get y minus 3 y minus 3? So I drop down the y and I multiply by y minus 3 because that's what was missing. Correct? This last fraction, what did I do to that one?
Nothing.
I didn't do anything, but guess what I want to do? I'm going to distribute that, negative 5y plus 9. Do y'all see that I just distributed the negative? So now we have all exactly the same denominator. So we bought a house, and we're moving in, and we're going to have a whole bunch of boxes on the floor. And in my living room, there's boxes everywhere. So what do? Unpack those boxes, which means mathematically to do what? Distribute! So now I have no boxes in my living room, but I have a whole bunch of junk everywhere. What do?
Combine like terms.
I need to organize it by combining like terms. So y squared. What's negative 3 yo-yos and negative 8 negative 5 yo-yos?
Negative 2.
I hate it when I give you the answer. Negative 8 yo-yos and 2 yo-yos give me? Negative 6 yo-yos plus 9 all over y minus 3 times y minus 3. So now I've combined my like terms, right? Am I done?
No.
Why?
Did you factor?
I need to factor my numerator into two binomials if possible. Well, that's going to be y and y. Factors of 9 that give me 6 are negative 3 and negative 3. And then I bring down my denominator. And what do you notice? We got a little cancelage going on here. And what does this thing equal? 1, not 0.
I'm kidding.
Bad joke. Really bad joke. Okay, do we understand what I want from you on tonight's worksheet?
Yes.
Yeah. Lo and behold, we got through what I wanted to get through today. Now, are we listening to me?
Yeah.
I want to know honestly, do you feel like you could be ready for a test on Friday? Because I'm afraid that if I give you another day, that will not allow us to take a test on Friday, and that's going to make a Monday test.
Wait, a test over what? The
8-5 and 8-6.
just the stuff we're doing right now.
Just that worksheet that I just gave.
Wait, can you ask me tomorrow?
I'll be happy to ask you tomorrow. But what I want you to understand is I want you guys to really think about that. I know the timing of it kind of stinks. I know we have a shortened week. It'd be nice to have another day thrown in there, and I would not be against having a Monday test. But I'm afraid that there's some of you in here who are going to forget 100% and not do a lick of homework over the weekend or study at all. So with that said, I need you to try your 100% best effort tonight on this homework. Am I clear?
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Wait,